We are. So this is our leadership. Our president of DPAC is Janina Trujillo. She's not here today. I'm the vice president. My name is Brenda Veronica. And our secretary is Fatme Alcazar. Okay, and the meeting objectives for today. So today we are going to talk about the updating school plans and also about the elections for the new committee for 2026-27. We are really excited. So I'm going to invite Miss Julie Kane to explain to us this slide.
Thank you, Miss Brenda. Sure. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm asking myself if I can have permission to record the meeting in Spanish. So I just gave myself permission. So welcome, everyone. As we talked about today, we're going to talk about where we are with our school plans and talk about electing officers for the new year. But I do want to just pause for a moment. We have our superintendent, Miss Virginia Castro, in the room. So I want to welcome her and see if she wants to say anything. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope everyone's doing well in the rain.
Welcome, welcome. Okay, all right. So here we are in the middle of February. You are having your school site council meetings. And we just completed our second interim budget meetings. So we are, let's see, do I have this animated? No, I guess I don't. We're at the point here where we are getting ready to recommend your plan for next year to the board, right? So you just got your numbers, you just got new data in January. So you are at your site, looking at your data, looking at your plans and thinking, is what we said we're going to do happening? Is what we said we're going to do working? And if the answer to both of those questions is yes, you keep doing it, right? If one of those answers is no, we have to rethink, is there something that we said we were going to do that we didn't do? And here's a very common example. We put money aside for an instructional aide, but we've been trying to hire and we have not been able to fill it. So we don't have data saying whether or not that's been effective. And we have a short timeline to spend those funds. So either we need to fill that position or we need to take those funds and move it somewhere else to use for this school year, right? So those are the types of conversations we're having. And you would be doing this at your school site council meeting and then identifying, okay, maybe there's a different key improvement we're going to do and what's our timeline and who's going to do it so we can have that all lined up. So as usual, we are moving through. The good news, I hope, is that when you looked at your data, you were seeing improvements, right? This does not feel like it wants to work, so I'm going to go back to this. This is the calendar of events that I shared with the principals and I shared with you. As we talked about, we had new data in January. So you looked at goal 1, which is academic achievement, and goal 2, which is access and equity. So you could look at your iReady scores, your middle school science, the California dashboard, which we talked about last month, your trimester 1 local assessment data. And then for goal 2, you looked at all those by groups of students. How are my English learners doing? How are my low-income students doing? How are my students with special needs doing to make sure that everyone has access? And then we had our second interim budget meeting. So in February, this is where you're meeting if you need to make those changes. And then in March, you're going to look at goal 3 and goal 4. So goal 3 is parent and student engagement. So you're looking at your attendance, your chronic absenteeism, your suspensions. And goal 4, TREC, science assessments, your maker spaces, etc. And then we have new iReady data comes out. That's your last chance, March, April, to refine your goals, and then you submit in May. This should sound familiar, I hope. If it sounds strange, then we need to talk to your school site council, right? Okay, so let's take a minute for those of you who are with us, either in the Zoom world or in person. What updates have you made to your school plan this month? Have you made any? Okay, Brenda's got her hand up. Let's see what she has.
Sure. I'm also part, obviously, for my school site council. I'm at my school in Billy Mitchell. And last month, we reviewed the dashboard. And we have a really good news because our English learners were a really good improvement. So we are so happy and we are going to continue working with them as we are doing because we make a really jump and we are really happy about that. But we notice also that our absenteeism is growing. So this is something that we need to work to. So we are going to start to making plans to how to work with the absenteeism that we are having. So that's what we are doing at the school last month.
Thank you. That's great. Yes, a lot of the sites, when the dashboard data came out, you have celebrations to have, right? I was going through the plans and sending notes to the principals going, nope, you're not in red anymore. You're orange. You need to highlight that. Or nope, you're not in yellow anymore. You're green. You need to highlight that. So, and Mitchell had a tremendous growth in their ELPI, which is the English Learner Progress Indicator, which is fantastic news, right? And yet they still identified there's an area for work, right? So that getting those kids to school is huge, right? And so that's the stuff that now, as we talked about, just in time, because we're looking at goal 3 and goal 4 this month, what are we going to do about it? Or what have we already started and are we starting to see some improvements, right? Any other sites besides Mitchell in the house that would like to share? You know, rainy Wednesdays are tough. They are. All right, well, Mitchell leads the charge, showing that it can happen, that you're doing the work, which is great. And just so you know, this afternoon, we have the principals with us, and every Wednesday in February in the afternoons, I'm holding office hours with our principals as they are updating and revising the plans, just to make sure that we're on time for our May board approval date. So everybody's working on it, everybody's talking about it, and we have good news to share, which is great. Okay, next one. Nobody wants to move the slides forward. There we go. Okay, let's talk about parent leadership. It's hard to believe that 2 years have almost gone by where Miss Brenda and Miss Giannina and Fatime have been working as our leaders for our DPAC committee. We also have our DLAC committee, or now Community of Multilingual Families, also has completed their 2 years or is about to complete their 2 years of service. So it's time to start elections. And it's scary to say how many of these cycles I've now been through. If I show you the slide deck where we went all the way back in like 2017 with the first slate of parents that we brought through, we have developed a lot of leaders in our district coming through. And now it's time to develop some more. So I hope if you're not here and already thinking about being a leader, you know someone that you're going to go back and tap when you get back to your school site before March 11th. Because what we talked about last time was that we would consider nominations this month and then elections in March. But just so to review, what is DPAC and why do we care? Right? What does it stand for? It's our District Parent Advisory Committee, and we have responsibilities, right? As part of this group to provide input on the services we provide to low income and underperforming student groups through the Title I funds that we receive. We also give input to the local control and accountability plan. And Superintendent Castro will be coming to our meeting in May to share where we are on that, to get your input and feedback. And we also work on the district family engagement plan, which is, in our case, Family University, all the workshops we do, all the different parent groups, like the wonderful Families with Special Needs Support Group Resource Fair that just happened last week. That was phenomenal. Now we have our GATE families support group that has started. So we are and our African American Parent Advisory Council, who is in deliberations on our new name, but we haven't come up with it quite yet. All these groups are really growing and expanding, and all of that stems from this group. As I was telling Tracy Pumia, who's our assistant soup last week, when we were at the resource fair, I was like, there's all these vendors and supporters and community partners sharing all the resources they have for our families. And I was like, Tracy, this was Brenda 3 years ago saying, Miss Julie, we need a support group. Miss Julie, we need a support group. And she would not leave me alone, which I love because it was like, okay, we'll do it, Brenda. We're a little struggling right now. And then the next time she's like, no, but we have to do this. And so that's the power of this group, is that you build that. And then now she's partnered with Emily, who's our community schools person, and it got even bigger. And so that's the power of DPAC. So if you think it's not a cool or interesting committee to join, you're wrong. It's a really actually very cool group to join, and you get to improve our district. So I really encourage you to join us. We also, you have a responsibility. You attend the DPAC meetings, either virtually or in person, and you're the link between DPAC here and your school site council at the school level, right? So you bring information to us, to the district level, so we can hear it, and then you bring it back. You look like you have something to say.
Yes, there's a question on the chat. I have a question about new leader volunteers. And that's from Nora Benitez. I don't know if she wants to unmute herself.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I have a question because my son, he already did the process for the for the live scam and application to be volunteer at school. But sometimes some of the activities, especially in the middle school, the requirement is to be 21 or more, and he's gonna be 20. But he likes to work with the volunteer parents at school. He's been working with Mark Twain Elementary, and I don't know if he can join any of those group like Ella Pack or anything like that, because he really wants to do things like that.
They're saying your son wants to join one of our parent committees to
Yes,
support the
so
school?
he likes to be involved. Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that. It would be a matter of going to the principal at the school site and asking to be part of the committee. Typically, officers on the committees are elected, but the meetings are open to anyone in the community. So he's welcome to attend the meetings and to learn what's happening. So I would suggest connecting with them and/or our community liaison at each site. They can connect you with the meeting schedule and what's when and how to attend.
Okay. I will let him know. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay. So where are we? Okay, so two-way communication between school site and the district. And again, just as a reminder, school site council in the orange connects with district parent advisory committee. In the green, you see our English Learner Advisory Committee, or now newly named Community of Multilingual Families, connects with our district Community of Multilingual Families. And then we have our school administrative team and our district administrative team. We all work together to make sure that it goes across the whole district. And then what are the goals of our committee? One is to raise awareness. What is it? What is that funny named thing that you go to on Wednesdays every month? What is a district parent advisory council? What do you do? We want to help our parents learn more about our school district. We want to increase a communication between and amongst parents and between DPAC and our schools, and increase interactivity in the meetings. Now, for those of you who were with me years ago, I used to make you get up and move and talk to each other, and I ran it like a classroom. It's a little harder in the digital in-person world, but we do try to make it less me talking, more you talking, which we will get to. We will get to. But that is these are the goals that we have. And now let's talk about what the roles are. So I don't know if Giannina has been able to join us electronically or Fatime, but we do have Brenda. So Brenda is always representing. She can talk to it a bit. But this is the slate, 26, 28. I got a bunch of question marks. I want to fill it. So this is where we're going. So let's talk about the different roles. And I'm gonna, Brenda, if you wouldn't mind, because you've held all the different roles, it seems, in all the different committees. But could you tell everyone how hard a job it is to be the president of a committee?
It's not hard at all. Ms. Julie's always helping us a lot with the slides and everything. It's not too much meetings and it's really rewarding. And also it's really good because you are always in communication with the district. You know what is happening at your school, at the district. And it's really good because if you have some questions, you could ask directly. And also, if you have some ideas, you could bring it to here. Like my idea that Ms. Julie mentioned about the family support group, and now it's a reality. So if you want something to happen, this is the place that you need to join.
So I don't make Brenda come to meetings at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't call her on Saturdays and say, I need you to make an agenda. We meet mostly after or before these meetings and say, does this sound good? Does this sound like our next agenda? We have our list. We may email the slide deck back and forth. That's really it. It just gives you the opportunity to be in the know, to be part of the decision making, and to help make our district a better place. And essentially, the president helps run the meeting. Like you saw, Brenda opened the meeting. Brenda is the vice president, whose role is to assist the president in running the meeting if the president can't be here. So that's exactly what she's doing today. And you help me plan the meetings. And we have a secretary, which in the old days had to take copious notes, but now we have Zoom and recordings and things. So it really is just about helping us stay in communication with each other. A very simple task, but again, you get to be part of the committee that knows what's happening. So we are going to be moving towards elections, but in order to do that, we have to have nominations. To do that, there are multiple ways that can happen. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate your friend. You can, ask someone permission. Can I nominate you? If you get nominated, you can say, oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, you can decline. Or you can just say, yep, I'd like to do it. I nominate myself, right? It's very informal. We are not a gigantic district. We don't have 600 people in the room. We can be a little more informal with this. And basically what we do is we'll take down the names. And if we have more than one, we'll go to a vote. I invite the candidates up to say something about themselves. Like, hi, this is the school my children attend. This is why I want to do this. And then we have everybody else. I mean, in my dream world, there'd be like 20 of you all vying to be president, and you'd all be up here giving your campaign speech. But, I'd be happy if we got 2 or 3, right, who are interested in doing it. And then we vote. And then oftentimes, those who didn't get elected as president run for vice president. So we were picking from the same slate. But it's fairly simple. So again, today we can take nominations if we are so inclined, and then hold the vote in March. And depending, I can't see, how many people do we have online that are not our own interpretation computers?
2.
Yes, we might not have a gigantic group for nominations today, unless there's someone online or in the room who's ready to throw their hat in the ring and say, yes, I want to do it. Is there anyone so far who would want to nominate themselves or somebody else?
Anyone?
Okay, if not, then here's your homework for our March meeting, is to go back to your sites and talk amongst your school site council parents and say, hey, one of us needs to step up. Who should we nominate? And then you bring your friends with you on March 11th. Okay, so that's going to be the push. Like, okay, guys, we got to keep this moving. Otherwise, poor Brenda's going to have to do it for another 2 years, and she might want a break. I mean, she could run again if she wanted to, if nobody else did. But I also love to share the opportunity for people to take on some leadership and to grow. So it's a good thing, right? So it looks like you all have homework. You're going back. And that includes the CLs. You can strong arm some people and say, hey, you are very active at our school site. You should be coming up here and joining, right? Yes. And you can tell them it's not scary. It's not a hard job. Julie will help you. And you get to do some cool stuff, right? Okay. That's your homework then.
You have a good title, president.
That's right. Hey, it's a good resume thing, right? It's a good resume thing. Okay, well, what did you learn today? That you have homework. You have to go back and tell your friends or think about it for yourself. I'm not excluding you. I got a few faces in here that come pretty often and say, maybe you want to consider it. Think about it. Okay, this is going to end up being a short meeting, guys, because that was our whole slate. I was ready to duke it out with elections, but we had a small turnout due to weather. So just want to remind you about the volunteer application. And Nora was asking somewhat about this too, about how you apply to be a volunteer. Remind you that you can always use volunteers in the library. In our upcoming board meetings, so next week, we have the Parent Empowerment Program being presented. That's me. That's Miss Emily. We're going to be talking about a new parent training program that we're building out at Roosevelt Elementary for our little guys, 3 years to 6 years old, who are struggling with being ready for school with behaviors, and training parents on how to become superpowered in helping shift their children's behavior so that they're ready for school. So we will be sharing that at that meeting, and Roosevelt will be highlighted. I got a Roosevelt dad over here, so you should come to that one, right? Or maybe you're part of the presentation. I don't know, but we'll see. And then on March 5th, we talk about second interim budget. The whole district has a second interim budget. So Luis Diaz, who's our director of accounting, will be presenting the district's second interim budget. And Twain will be presenting. Oh, Milette's here. Milette, you're in perfect time. We're just about to elect new officers. You're going to click. She's going to sign off. Hi, Milette. Welcome. And then in March 19th, measures L, EE, and facilities will be coming. These are all construction measures that will be presented. There won't be a school that is highlighted that day. And then, as you can see, our meeting calendar is getting busy. So next week is the 20th already? Mm-hmm. We have the GATE Parent Support Group second meeting. We'll be focusing on social emotional learning for our gifted learners. DPAC, this group comes back March 11th. Special Needs Family Support Group comes back on the 31st of March. APAC is also on the 31st of March. So we have a morning meeting and an afternoon. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay. Online. Have you not been able to see it this whole time? Or did it just fall off? Let me fix that. Oops. Okay, better? Yeah. See it now. Okay, if you weren't able to see before, my friends on Zoom, I'm just going to back up just a tad. Just to remind you, March 11th, we'll be holding elections for our new officers. So your homework is to talk to your friends, talk it up, see who we can get to act as an officer for the next 2 years. Volunteer opportunities, we talked about, library, our board meetings coming up, and school spotlights. And then all of these meetings that are coming up February, March, and April. So we want to tie up our elections by March and April so that in May, all our meetings will turn towards LCAP. The superintendent will be presenting that, and then we'll have our end of year celebration. and another school year will close. So busy times as always. So make sure you have these on your calendar. And I'm going to turn it over for any last questions, wonderings, topics that you would like to see covered in the future that we haven't. All right, fastest DPAC meeting ever. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking part of your rainy Wednesday with us. And we will see you on March 11th with friends who want to be leaders. Deal? Deal. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Very much.